Hey Fruit Faces, it is Klaireeberry. I just want to come in with you guys today and touch base with you. Such a wonderful day on these days where I have some time to myself and just really fully utilizing the day, you know, whereas even if I was telling myself back when I was a drinker but not even a huge drinker, you know, I just felt like there was more ups and downs, and I would have these days where even if I wasn't fully like hungover, you know, I just wouldn't feel right or wouldn't be all there. And even a great day that you would think you would be able to utilize would just not turn out so great. And I'm finding that now, as I'm more intentional with my time and I'm able to use it how I want, you know, these days that I have to myself, I'm really cherishing. And, you know, being able to get back in nature. Rocky and I took a great walk. It started sprinkling on us, which felt so great. The temperature was just that perfect warm, but yet that little coolness, and then the rain felt so good letting it hit my face. And we stopped by this little pond and just kind of shortly meditated for a few moments, you know, just watched the rain sprinkle through the trees and then fall into the pond, and then the water's rushing down through this little pathway that they built. And so then I just came home, and I already squeezed up some orange juice by hand. I think I had maybe 12. It was about 2 cups of whatever these are, 16 or so ounces, I believe. So I drank those earlier and just feeling great. Just kind of farting around the house, you know, and I've been turning on some Dan McDonald. It's very inspiring. I feel like we're on the same level. I think I've mentioned that before, but then it kind of inspired me to go ahead and make some green juice. And man, I tell ya, I was just actually watching, I want you guys to see the top of that if you can. You really can't. I was just watching one of his videos called something about green juice that cures cancer. Sorry, I'm really bad with this. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. So gorgeous. So, of course, I was inspired to make some green juice. And one thing that's so funny is it's so easy to be like, okay, Dan McDonald says this recipe cures cancer. So, you know, I've got to go out and I've got to get exactly what he says, what he's doing, what his recipe is, or else it's not going to cure cancer, or else it's not going to taste good. That's one thing. People are always like, can I have a smoothie recipe? You know, give me smoothie recipe ideas. And yes, there are certain fruits that taste better with other fruits, certain vegetables that might taste better with other vegetables. I think more so with fruits, you got to be careful. But I think especially with juicing with vegetables, I'm going to tell you something. This freaking juice right here, you guys, is so good. No recipe, no plan. I kept the stalks on. I put the stems in there. I put the bottom of the romaine lettuce in there. Barely even washed most of it, because it's organic. And so it's got the good microbes in there, little pieces of dirt that are actually going to help. You know, I've known about this for a really long time. This is why, part of the reason why my kids are so healthy. They're very healthy. They always have been, even back when we were meat eaters. And they definitely got sick more back then when they ate more meat. And they're not totally vegan. They eat bad foods, horrible foods, when they're with grandparents, even at school, and this and that. Of course, I would rather they were completely vegan. But still, they're healthier now, eating the majority of their foods vegan at home. Very healthy. It's not just because they weren't vaccinated ever, but because they've eaten good organic foods, but also because I never, you know, I let them play in the dirt. I let them play in the mud. I let them crawl on the floor when the floor wasn't completely clean. And I've never kept my house overly sterile. Never. I like to keep it tidy. I like to, you know, get the majority of the dirt and the dust off, but I'm not obsessive or anal about it. And I think that also contributed, because like I said, even back then I knew that these microbes, this good bacteria is basically essentially B12. It is your vitamins. It is, I think, all complex B vitamins in general, if I'm not mistaken. You know, it's very important to, I think, leave some of that little bit of dirt on your food. It's natural. you know, not big huge clumps obviously, and if it's not organic, then yeah, you want to wash that crap off, because your dirt's not going to be good anyway. But if it's a good pure dirt, or if you're growing something in your own yard and you know that it's not been sprayed and it's good healthy good soil, you know, good healthy soil has these microbes, these good bacteria in there. And you know, most of our body cells are actually these microbes. Like, most of our body cells aren't even our own, which is really freaky to kind of think about, but it's also in a way can be very spiritual to think about. This juice is so good. Back to the juice. It is so good. It's so fresh. I wonder if they all even taste the same. I can't even describe it. Like, I've never had a juice just like this before. And that's the cool thing about it, is that you can just come up with whatever combination. The cilantro is definitely really good in there. And so this one obviously has carrots in it. So I put basically a whole package of baby carrots. There's a whole head of, there's probably about 2 or 3 heads of romaine in here. It's kind of like, I've told you guys this numerous times, but when I'm doing salads at first, at like the beginning of the week or whatever, I'll take like the top parts of the romaine or the green leaf lettuce or whatever I'm using, so that, because they're the more nutritious, they've got all the dark green leafies at the top, and then the bottom is more lightly colored, more watery base. So the organisms that are on it are eating the tops. The tops are what's going to go bad faster. So I chop those off. I don't even wash it. I just save it until later and just like wash the tops or whatever, and then consume those first out of your whole bunch. Because when you're buying a bunch of lettuce, you know, or like 6 or, you know, more, sometimes I've bought, I don't even know, like 12 or so heads of lettuce at once. You know, you need to make sure that it doesn't go bad. And then it's great to have the leftovers to, you know, like if you need to use it all up at once, just to juice it up at the end of the week or whatever, however you do it. But so if this was kind of like 2 or 3 the bottom halves, and like I said, I just threw the stalks in as well. So 2 whole heads of cilantros, and again, stems and all. The kale, I had actually just stems from 2 heads of kale, and then I had a whole head of kale that I put in there. And then, so like I said, the carrots are in this one. Wow. Oh, and there's also 1 apple and 1 lemon. So just randomly took some things. Oh, and there's also 1 zucchini in there as well. I wanted to kind of bulk up the juice. So normally I don't think to, and I don't see a lot of people putting zucchini into their juices, but I think honestly that might be one of the things that's so good in here. I think I really like kale. It's not very bitter. That even just 1 apple will kind of cut through, I think, some of this bitterness and just make it taste great. And the lemon, I think, is I think lemon and apple is good. This is just really, I'm like surprised, you know, with the amount of greens and kale, you know, you just don't think it's going to be that great, but it's really hitting the spot and it's helping me. I can just like feel my energy. What I'm feeling is like, I think my energy is expanding, and I feel it like here. And I also feel it, you know, in my entire body right now as I'm doing this. I think this is like some form of qigong or yoga or something. Like I'm, you know, you play with the ball of energy and expand it, and when you focus on your own energy, it actually does expand. So, and it flows better. You know, I'm just learning so much about just the oxygenation of our cells, and even like if you're just trying to be healthy and look great, you know, you want to stay fluid and stay moving and eat foods like this and stay hydrated, so that and eat foods like this and drink foods that will feed your cells, so that your cells can work optimally and you can get oxygen everywhere, in order to, you know, just keep everything functioning. I don't know, it's so simple, but it's so deep. And again, I just want to say, you don't need a crazy recipe. You know, sometimes you can just get some of your favorite things. I mean, obviously, if you don't like cilantro, you wouldn't put 2 heads of cilantro in there. I love cilantro, so it's great. It's also very, very good for you, and good cleansing detox type of a thing. So basically what I'm going to do is, I think, save the carrot for last, and I'm going to drink these. So I've had a lavender kombucha this morning. Then I had my wormwood tea or whatever with 2 lemons, the juice of 2 lemons. Then I had 2 cups of, well, I guess it would have been 4 cups because this is technically 16 ounces, so that's 2 cups, but you know what I mean. 2 glasses of fresh squeezed orange juice. Then I'm gonna have 2 green juices, and then I'm gonna have 1. And again, this is carrot. I separated it. I took out the green juice mostly, but there was a little bit of green juice left. And then I put in just carrots is all, and then 1 clove of garlic. And then what I did was I reran all of the pulp through a second time, so got even more, a little bit of green, juice in there. And I did notice, I've done that before with other things, and I did not notice, I did not feel like I got a lot, and I tried it again, and I did notice that this time it was better, but I did notice there was like a chunk of apple that, went through, and I was like, wow, this is, it was a good stream of juice, definitely worth it to go ahead and run that through twice. And, I'm just gonna, I might mess around with getting something on my dehydrator.